Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the private test build version of League of Maidens. Alright, so the first change we're going to look at is in character customization. If you look at the left side of the screen here, you can see that all of my outfits that I own are now lined up before any locked outfits. This was one major change that I think was a good one because it's annoying scrolling through this huge line of outfits trying to find the one you want in between all the locked ones that you don't have yet. They've also unlocked 2 more outfits for free for any new player. So now you have the usual whatever latex rubber suit that you got going on here. And then you have the versions that have a little bit less. There's one with the bikini bottom and the one with both the bikini bottom and no sleeves. So those will also be available upon initial character creation, free of purchase. Alright, so upon first look,
Good job.
the desktop UI hasn't really changed at all. However, one thing I have noticed is they removed the SP bar, so that's good. Oh, here's actually a good test. Doesn't look like they fixed this. We're gonna test this out. If this makes it so that I can't continue on, then we might have a problem. Okay, so I successfully did that. But what I would like to see is if it's going to prevent me from doing it later on when I need to do it for a quest, because that is an issue that the open game actually has
Got it. Okay, great. Head over.
that they were supposed to fix.
Hey there.
Oh? Okay, so they changed it to where you can grab the tickets ahead of time now. You don't have to wait for her to tell you. One change that I do like, actually, if you look at the top left, so yeah, SP is missing, but they've made sure to really clearly put Awakening level next to your Guardian level. So I think that's good because a lot of people get confused on all the different kinds of levels and stuff in the game. Alright, here it is. The absolute moment of truth. Can we finish the quest? Will it be done? Oh, wow. I think they force it to be available for the quest now. Okay, I just noticed it on my suggested tasks on the right. So that means they definitely fixed that problem. Alright, so let's try to get outside and we're going to take a look at what else they've done in the game. Now, I already see some changes coming into this, but one thing I want to point out is your little XP circle down there by your health and MP. That is no longer for interim levels. That is for your awakening level. Interim levels have actually changed in how they work. They're no longer called interim levels. They're just occasional buffs that you get for reaching certain amounts of XP. Hey, so future me here. Interim levels actually haven't changed. They just don't show you an XP bar for it. And the thing that tells you, hey, you got a temporary level up is different now, which you'll see in a bit. Next, I've noticed they put access your loadout to increase skill levels above your skills on the bottom right. And they have 3 new little icons here next to the XP. One takes you directly to your loadout, the other one takes you to your inventory, and the other one takes you to the gear panel of your inventory. Next, they changed dodging. Dodging now has 0.5 seconds of iframes. If you don't know what iframes are, that's invincibility frames, which means no more getting hit when you've clearly dodged an attack. Also, dodging now uses stamina instead of your MP. We're going to go a bit more into the game and maybe see if we can get one of these interim levels and see how the buff actually works. Because the wording on it is a little confusing to me, so I think it's just one of those things you need to, you just kind of need to go in and experience. Alright, another update that I read is that they improved melee combat because melee combat is so weak in the beginning. Now, the other major issue with melee combat was just not being able to avoid attacks very well. Doesn't really seem like melee attacks actually stun all that much. However, it definitely feels more viable to actually do. I think the main thing to actually take away from this combat is you don't feel gimped using any spells because now you can't dodge because your 2 spells used all of your MP. Being able to dodge with stamina made such a huge difference. And you can get 4 or 5 consecutive dodges with stamina as well with this system. Not to mention having those iframes when you dodge makes avoiding damage so much easier as a melee. So this was definitely a good fix. I commend them for this. This was a great idea for fixing things. I know these were things that were recommended by the community, in fact. And props to you guys who stuck with this game and kept playing to give that kind of feedback. I can't wait to see this go live so that we can have this affect our actual characters and not just the ones within the test build. Okay, there we go. We got a playtime skill buff. And now we get to choose which one we buff. So interim skills are still the same thing. They've just labeled it differently, and you don't have a bar tracking how far along you are with that. Which I think is good, because I feel like too many people stress about, oh man, I gotta farm up my interim skills again. And it's like, no, you don't really need to go out of your way to farm them up. Just play the damn game. You'll get your skills. It's not that big of a deal. If you need those interims to actually complete content, then you need to be focusing on actually leveling up your skills permanently and not relying solely on interim skills. Yeah, it's definitely much improved. It's not perfect by any means. The combat will still need a lot of work, I think, but I think this is good enough to where it's a lot more bearable for new players to actually stick to the game and even just play other classes aside from Sorceress or Healer. I think it definitely gives that incentive that this game really needed to stick with it. So I think now we're gonna skip forward and we're gonna test out the combat in an actual Stronghold against a Stronghold boss, preferably, because that's definitely where the faults in the combat for melee are very noticeable. All right, guys, we are here. Now, I've had more time to play around with the combat up until this point, and it is honestly so much better. Fighting nightmares or even groups of enemies is so much easier when you have iframes on a dodge. It makes melee completely viable now. But I think this is the real test. I might be a little underleveled skill-wise for Seraph Demon, but I think the interims should be enough. I would also like to see if the cheesing still works. Oops, I went in a little too early on that one. See, that normally would have done damage to me right there just for going backwards into her slash. But because there's iframes, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I also don't have to worry about, do I have enough MP after using abilities to dodge the attack? And it makes such a huge difference. Like, this is so much more fun to play than it is on live. It's crazy. Yeah, so generally if I get hit, it's because I just didn't dodge or dodge in time. As you can see, even dodging backwards in attacks that would normally still have done damage to me doesn't even happen anymore. This is an actual fight now, even though my skills aren't all that highly leveled. Ooh, okay, so now we're going to test to see if the little cheesing tricks work. Okay, so she still gets stuck on this. I'm going to assume we can still jump up on the light posts over here. Oh. Yep. Okay, so those haven't been changed yet, but at least the actual combat itself works, and I think that's more important. I feel like the reason people would use those kinds of exploits anyways is because combat is just so broken, and they probably chose a melee character on top of it. I never really felt like I had to use those kinds of tricks on Sorceress. See, just the fact that I can still fight her even when I'm low on health and my movement is crippled makes, like, that's just so huge. That's crazy. You're not condemned to death just because you can't move quickly. I can definitely say if they can manage to update this, I will probably change my main off of my sorceress because this is so fun. I like sorceress's combat style, but this is what I was really hoping for when the game initially released to the public. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. We've checked out what is coming to the game, hopefully very soon. Keep in mind this is the public test build of the game. This isn't the actual release that I've been playing. I have no access to any of my actual characters. The only thing that carries over, it seems, is anything that is account-wide. So individual characters stay on the actual released game, but gold, crystals, diamonds, and outfits that you've unlocked carry over to this. Alright guys, so before we end this video, I'm actually going to show you how you can access the private test servers. So you're going to go over to your games, and you're going to right click on League of Maidens. From there, you're going to go to Properties, and you want to go down to the Betas tab. So when you first do this, you're going to notice you're not going to have private test build on here. That's not going to pop up. It's just going to have none. If you want to access it, you want to put this code, which I'll put down in the description below, into the check code bar here. After you hit check code, this will pop up saying opt into private test build, and then this will pop up for you. Make sure you have it selected, and it'll say private test in parentheses next to League of Maidens, and then you can play. I hope this video was informative, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.